Good evening. It's John again playing Immaculate Grid. Once again going for that low rarity score. Nothing too special here. This is a low overhead production. I just shoot a video and upload it. That's all I do. That's all I'll probably ever do with this. But appreciate everyone commenting, leaving your scores. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna jump right into it. I think I had like 11 yesterday or something like that. I had 11, but I had the Brewers there, so I should have done a little bit better. But that's my team. But let's hit refresh. Let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, we got 300 career average. Interesting. All right, 300 career average, 200 hits in a season. And then the Mariners, and then Pirates, White Sox, and Angels. Angels players with 200 hits in a season. That's an interesting one. I can think of a couple. Yeah, that one's gonna be tough. White Sox 200 hits. I'm gonna go with Carl Reynolds. He had a big year, one lone big year that I think was 30 or something like that. Hit I think over 350, over 200 hits. So he goes sub 1%. So that's a decent start. I'm gonna jump over here. Just thought of someone from my youth. Was with the Pirates when the Brewers moved over to the NL Central and then moved over to Seattle, and that would be Mr. Al Martin. Takes 2%. Okay. I have someone who will work for both of these because 300 career average. Oh man, we now have. I saw this in the YouTube comments, but we now have archived grids. It's pretty cool. Might go back and do those one day, but that'll be for bonus episodes. 300 career average. I think Roberto Hernandez we decided would work for 300 career average. I think he went for 1 for 2 in his career. Um, so my question is, where would I want to use him? I'm trying to, oh, I got the Angel. I'm gonna use Francisco Rodriguez, who went 1 for 2 with the Brewers. I think 1 for 1 or 1 for 2 with the Brewers in 2011. Um, and so he'll work for the Angels. 300 career batting average. That's the key there. He takes 0.2%. That's actually a little bit higher than I would have thought. I think people are onto this little scheme I'm doing. But that's all right. Let's see, 200 hits in a season. Who's more obscure? This is an interesting question. Who's more obscure? Because I've got a couple names. You go with either Wayner brother. Probably you want to go with Lloyd Wayner because he's the less famous one, but he had 200 hits, I think, in each of his first 3 career seasons, if I'm remembering that right. Or do I go with the much more obscure but far more recent Freddie Sanchez, who had, I think, exactly 200 hits or 201 or something like that the year he won a batting title, which is like you don't think of Freddie Sanchez as a guy who'd he wasn't an all-time great or anything, but he got 200 hits one year. And then in between, I mean, Clemente would be a good go-to there. Honus Wagner obviously did a whole bunch. Um, I'm sure on Arky Vaughn, I think he might have walked too much to have gotten 200 hits. I think Dave Parker will work as well. Uh, Bill Madlock is a maybe. He definitely he won like 4 batting titles, but a couple of those with the Cubs. I'm not as sure on him. I think Al Oliver will also work. So a lot of options out there. I'm gonna go Lloyd Wayner. I think that's the sweet spot. And like I would go with Sanchez, except I don't think anyone's done it since him. So anyone with a recency bias, I think, would select Sanchez. Lloyd Wayner takes 2%. All right. Off to an okay start so far. Let's see, 300 batting averages. Yeah, still thinking that one out. White Sox and Mariners. How about Danny Tartabull? Now I think I'm saying that right. He played with both teams. He takes 0.3%. Started his career with the Mariners, then Royals, then Yankees, then I think White Sox. Had a 100 RBI season in like 96, I think, right before the end. Let's see, Seattle and Anaheim or LA, whatever you want to use there. Mark Langston will work. Ricky Henderson will work. Those are both interesting options. Henderson only played a half season with both teams, but I think like people are on to Ricky Henderson, so and all the teams he played for. Mark Langston played a long time for both teams. Basically 84 to like 89-ish. He was traded for Randy Johnson to the Expos, played a half season Montreal, then signed a long year deal and played like another 7, 8 years with the Angels. So I think he's too famous for both teams. Ricky Henderson is just too famous overall. Here's an interesting one. Works for all the AL West teams, and that is Mark McLemore. Takes 2%. It's 2% of people who've caught on to that little hack. Let's see, 200 hits in a season though for the Angels. Well, let's see, Rod Carew, I think probably works. He was older when he was with the Angels. So he might have been, I know he's dinged up a bit. He might have had all his 200 hit seasons in Minnesota. That's a maybe. Vlad Guerrero definitely works. Anderson, I'm very confident he works. Randy Velarde had a 200 hit season, exactly 200 hits, but it was split between the Angels and the Athletics, and so I don't think it would work here. If it like it would work if someone who plays just a little bit like Francisco Rodriguez, he works for 300 career batting average, but I don't think 200 hits will fly for Randy Velarde. I don't think under the rules because he didn't get the 200 hits themselves. He didn't accumulate them with the Angels. I think that's the standard. Maybe not though. Yeah. I don't think Trout's ever gotten there. Certainly don't think Shohei's gotten there. Too many walks. Figgins actually same deal. Like he drew a ton of walks in his time. That's really just leaving me with a couple of guys. I don't think Bobby Grich got there. Fred Lynn, maybe. Doug Descends. Am I saying that right? 1982 had a big year. Let's see. I'm gonna look a little bit more over here with 300 averages. I can use Roberto Hernandez. I know I've got that in my back pocket. So thing is, he would work for either. He's probably a little bit more obscure with Pittsburgh. Which then that would leave me for Chicago. Maybe going with like a Luke Appling. Or if there's another better 300 hitter who just sort of popped into Chicago. Or one that just popped into Pittsburgh. That's really the ticket here. I think I want to use Roberto Hernandez because I know he's one of those relievers who's like 1-for-1 or 1-for-2 in his career. And I want to take the person I don't use. Oh, I got one. So I can do this with another player. He actually works for both teams too. So I think I'll go Roberto Hernandez here. 0.01. And then I'm going to go with this guy. I forget the exact parameters I set on this gentleman, Terry Forster. It would be like American League, National League only, not no 19th century leagues, no Negro leagues, American League, National League. I think he has the all-time record for batting average for players with more than like 200 plate appearances, or it was something like that. He was a 397 career hitter. Maybe it wasn't that many. Maybe it was like 50 or 100. I'm forgetting how many plate appearances he had, but he had like a 397 career average, and it's the all-time record for anyone above like 50. So that's a fun fact. And I know he played for both the White Sox, Pirates. I want to say but the Dodgers and Angels, so he would have worked here too. But there you go. We used some relievers there. And I've got a pretty good score going. Do I want to chance it on like Doug Sens or someone else? 200 hits. Just I can't come up with anyone besides Anderson and Guerrero that I'm sure about. I don't think Edmonds got there. I don't think Salmon got there. Um, I don't think Velarde counts. Um, I don't think. Oh, Erstad got there. Erstad definitely got there in 2000. I forgot about that season. He had that one incredible season where he had 240 hits, hit like 355. Check out Darren Ersted's 2000 season sometime. It's a pretty gnarly one. Maybe that's my best option, but I think this will be kind of a grid buster. Well, I gotta spell Darren Ersted's name right. All right, I'm just gonna spell Ersted because I'm pretty sure I can do that. One R, one I, one N. Got it. Oh man, that was terrible. He took 33%. There were four options though, and the highest was 38%. Alex Johnson, that's right. Won a batting title, eked out a batting title over Carl Yastrzemski. I'd totally forgotten about that season. Kudos to the baseball reference folks. I was not going to get that anyway. Like even if I recalled that he got to a 329 batting average, I was not going to get the 200 hits. 156 singles, 170 singles for Darren Erstad in 2000. So yeah, Johnson was definitely the best one. I think it's possible that like it was probably Erstad, then Guerrero, or sorry, Guerrero, then Erstad, then Anderson, and then Johnson probably took about 2%. But you know, Anderson was probably 20. I forget what I'm not sure exactly what the numbers would add up to, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was 38, 33. That would take you to 71, and like Anderson at like 28, and Alex Johnson at like one or two, something like that. All right, cool. There were 9 options there for the White Sox, with Shoeless Joe taking almost half, and then Clemente took almost half of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So fun game once again. Lots of this was a tough game for people. The highest overall score was 3 out of 9. Or the most prevalent score, the mode, if you will, was a score of 3. Massive skew. This is one of the hardest grids I think I've ever seen then. You got White Sox down here with 28% for most hits. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these options under 50%. I think this is actually one of the hardest grids ever. So I don't feel too bad about missing Alex Johnson now that I've seen that. So I'll take my score of 40. Didn't bust the grid on Doug Descends, or however you say his name. I'm sure you guys will comment in the section below. Books brought to you, or rather, the episode is brought to you by my book, and the link will be in the description. Thanks once again for playing. Warms my heart to see the comments, and yeah, maybe we'll go back and do some of these old grids now. Peace. Have a great night.